All right, bam. We're live. All right, let's get this party started. Welcome. If you're new, let us know where you're from. Welcome. Just let me know what part of the country you're from. We're just getting started here. We talk about remodeling, being online. Hello, welcome. Yeah, let me know what part of the country you're from and what your niche is if you're new here. Jay, what's happening, Jay? I haven't seen you. How's things? Our schedules have been off. Hoping you have a good weekend. How's your father? Everything going good? Awesome. Hey, you it was really cool that your is I want to say your wife, she came on and said hi on the call the other day. She's awesome. Man, you're lucky. That I'm now I see why you have a lot of success. You have an amazing team partner there. She has that's awesome. So that was really cool that she came around and said hi. Uh, yeah, that's awesome. Um, I didn't say this on the call, but so the other day I was in a big meeting at one of those conferences, and what I was sharing was the, the secret weapon really in this industry are the two-person team, and it's generally male female dynamic. It doesn't always have to be husband wife, but it has to be usually if there is a male running out in the field doing work generally their better half is the person answering the phones and organizing a lot of stuff on the back end. And those two people have the most success. Hands down, every single time I've ever anyone that I've ever worked with, anyone that we've ever come across and needed some assistance, like when there's two people like that, they run the best businesses all the time. So I'm excited for you. It's and I'm not taking anything away from you. Please hear me when I say this, but it's no wonder that you're doing like you guys are crushing it because you have I can see already you have like an amazing dynamic there. So it's awesome. Congrats. Yeah. Yeah, you guys are gonna whatever you guys want to like hopefully in your mind there's no worry like wherever you want your business to go, you guys will be able to take it there. Right? I mean, it's your business. You're in charge. You know what I'm saying? You guys are gonna set the limits and the heights it's gonna go. But yeah, you got the two of you will be able to tackle any of it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, and some people will say that, but I please hear it. Like it comes from here. It really is the truth that you can't beat that power couple like that. Because there's a balance to the energy that's out there. She's gonna work really well in the one dynamic, you work really well in the other dynamic, and then you guys both crush it. So, all right. But again, that was really it was cool. So that was awesome. And all right, so your dad's doing well. That's cool. And yeah, man, life is good down in Texas. Yeah, I feel a little jealous. She'll. That's the thing, though. She really will set you straight. Women, it's amazing. Like most women have really good intuition, and a lot of guys doubt it and don't trust it. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if you align well with a woman somehow in the business, trust their intuition. They might not know how to fix a damn thing out in the field. They don't have to, but they understand. They just have a different sense about things that, as a man, we often don't see it. We don't. You know what I'm saying? Like we're impervious. Like we don't. It's kind of like. Have you ever seen? Has this ever happened to you? You want to go buy a new vehicle, and the minute you buy yours, then all of a sudden you see hundreds of them everywhere you go. Somebody has the same vehicle, the same color. You're like, I never saw these before. What's going on? And it was always there. You just couldn't see it, right? And it's the same with that female intuition. They see things that it's always there, but we just don't see it. So anyhow, uh, that's awesome, man. Well, 20 years. Well, congratulations. All right. So is there like we have an anniversary soon? Is that what's happening? Are you telling me? That's awesome. Yeah. You guys are crushing milestones. This is a big time of year for you guys. So you get the anniversary for the merit, you get the anniversary for the business. That's awesome. Well, high five. Congrats on that. And that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, and again, I appreciate you jumping on that call. It was, like it's something that's pretty amazing when I look back and you think about it. Like everybody that was there is trying to do something a little bit different. Everybody's at a different phase, age wise, business wise, and yet, yes, always we all are. Believe me, it's frustrating some days when I wake up and go, I can't believe I just did that yesterday. I had one of those experiences at a big meeting 2 weeks ago. I just said some things that when I think back, I was like, that probably didn't come out real well. It what my mouth was saying and what my heart wanted it to mean, they didn't line up. And I'm sure it rubbed a bunch of people in the crowd the wrong way. You just don't get those moments back. But people that know me, I think, know where my heart is. Sometimes the mouth gets. But anyhow, yes, we're always a work in progress. But yeah, it does. You know, we all have our own way of communicating, and I definitely realize that mine sometimes irritates people for sure. Anyway, but what was the call on Friday? What was really cool about it was, I mean, look at like the success you've had in your last year. You have the other Justin out in Las Vegas, just in the last few months, like things have really been turning around for him. It was a struggle for him for a while, and so things are starting to click for him. And then Daniel, he's been running steady, been doing good for years, but was a little concerned about taking that growth step. And man, the minute he started with the two guys, now all of a sudden it's it's really amazing to watch, right? Because if you go on some of these other Facebook groups or get involved with some other people, it's all negative. People are I mean, I get some people reaching out that are having a really hard time, um, and they're struggling, right? So I always am cognizant of the spectrum. You have people doing good, and you have people just like life is hard, and then they're everywhere in between. But what was nice about the call, we have a good group of guys that I think are all appreciative and thankful for where they are in life, and that makes a huge difference. And are putting in place a lot of the simple daily things that just make such a difference. And that's why I think so many, like you do the basics, you do a lot of the foundational principles that a lot of people don't want to do. And I think that's why you see a lot of your success along with several of the other people. So it's cool, in my opinion, to be around that type of energy, a bunch of guys like that. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 100% correct. You're the only one that's going to stop you from getting done what you want to go out there and accomplish. Yeah. So hopefully you know, you pat yourself on the back as well, Jay. I mean, it's really impressive, and a lot of people are really struggle in the business. So it is. It's hard, because sometimes we only see what's like right in front of us. And when you feel like your world's falling apart sometimes, and this isn't going the way you want, and that's not, and this homeowner is beating you up, and that tool just broke, and now something's going wrong with the van. You got into an accident. All right, so who's jumping in here? Tile and grain. Hey, Tile and grain. Let me know what part of the country you're from. Welcome. I don't know if you've been on here before. Awesome. I don't know if I've chatted with you, but I appreciate you commenting. And hey there, Robin. So welcome. Okay, you're in Minneapolis. You got 5 years you do bathroom remodeling. All right, so who help me understand this? Who's doing your sales? You're at 650K. Are you the primary salesperson? It, I'm assuming yeah. And are you also an installer? Like, are you doing, so when you meet with the homeowner, if you came out to my house and you were going to sell me on a bathroom model, am I going to be signing the agreement with you? And then are you also going to be the guy coming back in a couple weeks and doing a lot of the work? Or are you just managing at this point? Okay. Do you have any formal sales training? Have you ever worked for a sales organization or taken any courses, read any books? Like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, you have to get off the tools. Yeah. And do you have any training like around like how people think? Have you taken a psychology class? Did you go to college, study any human behavior, business? Um, you know what I'm asking you? Like, understanding like consumer behavior, uh, read any books about the dynamic between how homeowners make buying decisions. And it's okay if you have, most people don't. I just, what I'm trying to understand is I don't want to start talking in a sense and you being like, what's he saying? Or at the same time, I could be talking about something you're like at a whole nother level. I don't know. Okay. So cool. All right. So you have a good foundation. You understand customer service. What do you think is holding you back? Do you not have enough leads? Are you having trouble like closing deals? And hear me when I say this. If you're just doing sales, you should be able to generate 1 to 3 million a year, or you should bring in a salesperson, because a good home remodeling salesperson, they should easily be able to generate between $1 and $3 million a year in revenue for your business. And please hear me when I say this. I'm just guessing. Um, m- is it that you only doing the sales because you have to? Would it be, or do you not have enough leads? Like, what do you think would is keeping you stuck at the 650? Is it, are you afraid that if you sell more jobs, you're going to have more problems because you don't have enough installers? Or are you working with in-house guys and subcontractors? There's a couple there's a couple layers to the onion that we'd have to peel back. And please hear, like, none of this is a judgment. I'm just asking some questions to get an understanding. Okay. Okay, so you have the foundation. So it sounds like if you could have more leads and sell a few more jobs, you guys could produce the work. So that's not the bottleneck. You have basic systems in place, like you have standard operating procedure, you have a good contract, you have change order process. Do you do pre-construction meetings where you, so the best way I can explain this is whoever, if you're doing the sales before production begins, there should always be the handoff where sales hands the job over to production and then production runs with it. Because if you're being, whoever sells the job, once it starts, is out. They shouldn't be being pulled back because they have to focus on more sales. Yeah. Does that concept make sense to you, Tile and Green? Hopefully you may already be doing a pre-construction meeting and have that process. So a lot of guys don't do it. They don't even recognize that it's a big part of moving forward, and that's okay. I'm always shocked at how many people don't understand the process because they don't see it demonstrated by many companies in the industry. Yeah. So I was in a similar, I'm asking some of these questions because it's what happened to me as well. I have a background in business and in sales, and I love doing the work. And it was a hard transition to get out of my own way. And also, being the owner of the business, do you have anyone else on your team? Like, who handles your office, your admin? Do you have a spouse, like somebody in your family? Is anybody handling like all the phone calls, all the scheduling, the billing, collecting payments? Yeah. So this is please hear this. Like, you're at $650,000 a year. That is amazing. You're already crushing it compared to most people. Okay, so you should sign up for one of my strategy calls. I'm going to be booking a few more next week. Jay Allen, you're on for one. I'll be in touch with you about yours. So look, Tom Green, we can do a half hour on the phone, and hear me on this. Most likely your struggle right now is, and it's here. You have so much going on up here in your own head because you're wearing this hat, you're wearing that hat, you have to wear this hat. You're being pulled in too many different directions. If you either, and you have to pick your lane that you want to be in the business. And follow me on this. If you want to be the salesperson, then you have to dedicate yourself to just being the salesperson, and you have to bring someone on to do all the other crap that you're doing. If you want to do all the other crap, then you bring on a salesperson who just does the sales. Because from what I'm hearing, it sounds like you have the foundation. I think you need an admin. I'd be curious why you don't have an office admin. Once you hit over $500,000 a year, and maybe you're really good at that stuff. I don't know, but like, who's doing your payroll every 2 weeks, right? Who's handling all the scheduling and all contacts. If every homeowner on every job that's running right now has to come back through you, yeah, you're just not going to be able to do more. You're at the max of your bandwidth. Yeah, Jayon, it is. He's yeah. So part of me thinks I'd have to understand a little more about. Look, first of all, it's what you want. That's the beauty of owning your own business. You get to decide what hat you're going to wear and what role, what lane you're going to drive down this business. If you enjoy doing the sales, which in my opinion is probably a really if you're already doing 650,000 and you're wearing all these other hats, if you just brought on an admin, a full-time, maybe even a part-time, 20 hours a week, somebody you work with every week, I bet you could get up over 1 million in no time. Now, we'd have to work on a little bit of your advertising also, but you already know that like a good advertising campaign, it's going to, keep returning. So that's fine. We just have to free you up so that you physically have the time and the mental capability to just keep going out, meeting with the people and closing the deals and setting up the crews. Who's your project manager? Like who's managing all these jobs? Do you run, how's that happening? Okay, man, I'm gonna tell you right, like we'll do a phone call and we could get you dialed in to where come January 1st, no problem. Next year, you're over 1 million. Like we just got to put a couple things, just give you a couple tasks. You know what you're doing. You're just doing too much. You're if we can get you focused and keep you in one lane, yeah. So you're in no man's land. Here, I've done a few videos on this before. Hear me from it. The worst place to be is between 500,000 and 1 million. Most guys never get out of that spot because you start running yourself ragged and you'll burn out. Okay. I don't, it gets exhausting. It gets frustrating. You feel like it's a never ending hamster wheel, this cycle. Your expenses are starting to get to the point where they're the most expensive they'll ever be. Whereas you're halfway through the tunnel is what I like to describe it to. You just don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And part of you, I can only speak for myself, I would be afraid, like maybe I should scale down a little bit. Maybe I should backpedal, go back because I couldn't see the light at the end if I just kept pushing forward. But Mark, please hear me. You, what you're experiencing is so common. Okay, like you're doing it the way it's supposed to be done. You're going through the things that happen in this industry naturally. There's light at the end of the tunnel, and you'll get through that, and then that million or whatever you want to get to, 3 million, like really becomes a lot easier because you've already done the hard part. You've already built the foundation. Right now, imagine it's kind of like you have a like in the plumbing world, your pipe's not big enough and the filter, on the sink, that little strainer, it's clogged. So if we can just clean a few things, we can get a whole lot more water flowing through your system, right? Where you can just turn that valve on and that water flows. Right now it's just restricted. And unfortunately, you're the restriction right now. But you had to be that person to get where you are today. Does that make sense? Like, there's nothing you're doing inherently wrong. You're doing everything right. and because you can handle so many things, you do handle so many things. But your next phase, the where you want to go to is going to involve you evolving a little and making a couple changes. That's the way I see it. Let me know if that resonates, if you can hear what I'm saying. Yeah, Jayon, he's Tylen Green. You're doing amazing stuff, and that's a lot. You're really, I mean, you have to be working a lot of hours to manage everything that you're managing. Hopefully, yeah, it's yeah. Think about it this way, Tylen and Green. If you know anybody that's doing, what is your target? Where do you want to get to? Help me understand. Like in your mind, what does success in the next 18 months look like? What's the volume, sales volume that your company does? Yeah, Jayon, you're correct. For guys producing out in the field. So if you were doing a million, is that would you not want to be in that range to get up over a million in revenue a year? Yeah, so you can almost put this on a whiteboard if you follow me. As your business grows, the expenses that you start incurring to do the sales volume that you're doing, you're gonna have to bring on an admin. Okay. So you bring on the admin. You're probably gonna have to determine, are you gonna do sales or are you bringing on a project manager? So you got two people coming in. Salary's gonna go up, expenses gonna go up. If the sales get up just over a little more than what your first number was, the 60 to 80, let's say we get up closer to like, so that we're over maybe 1.2 million a year, that's going to afford you to hire these people. And then everything gets easier. And where I'm trying to go with this is, as long as you have a couple decent crews, you may have to bring on one more, maybe two, but maybe not. We'd have to look at your efficiencies, like how long is it taking you right now? A lot of companies, when you're so busy doing everything you're doing, you're not even able to really scrutinize the team to see if you guys can be getting the jobs done quicker. Like, do you guys warehouse all the things right now? So what I'm saying is, if I call you up, if you're going to do my bathroom, are you making sure that all the selections are done up front before the job ever starts? And are you guys warehousing either all the items at your place or at the homeowner's place? and not starting the job until every decision has been made and every material item has been ordered and is on site or at your place? Okay. So if you have the efficiency down, then with the crews that you have, you guys can probably roll out a few more projects every year across the board. So what's nice is that's just more revenue coming into the company. That extra revenue and profit's going to be what's going to help pay for these other people that we bring in. And then the whole machine just starts running more efficiently. And where I'm going with this is, in my experience, you'll be more profitable and run smoother more in like the 1.2 range than you will in the $800,000 range. And initially it sounds scary because you're like, that's like another $300,000-$400,000 a year. But there's just, it's the economies of scale, right? That extra volume gives you the breathing room, and it really helps you hone in a lot of the talents of the whole team. Okay. Yeah, it's going to afford you to do some things. It's going to give you that better marketing budget that you'll need. You'll be able to hone in, work on your messaging so that you're attracting the ideal client a little bit better, right? It's going to give you some flexibility when you're meeting with homeowners so that you don't have to take some of the clients on that maybe you are taking on now that really aren't the best, right? So a lot of these things just help everyone. It helps the morale across the board. Your crews are happier, you're happier, the clients are happier because everybody's in the right lane all the time. And we're not trying to force some things to make it work just because we have to sell another job. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so you have the business acumen, so that's good. Yeah, now it's strategy, right? Little tweaks, and then you get it going. Yeah. Yeah, at this point, it's yeah, it's just a few more projects, and when you already have the system in place, you realize it's just a machine that we're feeding. That's all. I mean, I've watched plenty of people scale up, and it's just rinse, repeat. And the more we want to rinse, the more we repeat. You know, as long as we have a solid foundation, you can keep pushing the tolerances. Yeah. What what we don't want to do is try to force growth when you don't have a foundation, because then you do this. As you try to scale, you get the jobs, but then you get crushed with all the problems because you don't have the proper foundation. But when you've built the foundation, then we can just slowly just add a few more jobs. A few more. So yeah, talent grain, awesome. If look, ball's in your court. I've got a few of those 30-minute strategy calls left. All you gotta do is send me a direct message. You got to follow the count for my channel. If you want to hop on something like that, you want to talk specifics a little bit more. If not, no worries. Glad you found the channel. Appreciate you commenting. Um, and yeah, 2026, it could be another great year. Not that you're not doing great now. I mean, but it could, you could get to that whatever goal you want to set for yourself. Hey, Daniel, welcome. Noticing that you're in here now. But you want to let a Mm, mm. Yep, Jayon, absolutely playing the game with good rules. Yeah, 100%. I mean, 'cause, Jayon, you see it, like you already know that when you're ready, like it's easy to put in another player and say, here's how we do it here. And we're just going to do a little bit more of what we're already doing. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, everybody, it's interesting. I work with a couple guys outside of Pittsburgh, and this year, their focus this year has just been, we don't want to grow much more. We just want to increase profit. So we're trying to like refine techniques within the company, right? They might add like one person this year, but otherwise they like where they're at, and they're trying to figure out a way to make it just a little more profitable and get the foundation a little better. Then I think they're going to want to add another person or two. But sometimes that's when you don't feel like you have all the systems firing. Sometimes that's a good strategy. You go back, you say, hey, let's make sure we're doing all the basics really good, and then it's like sharpening your axe. Sometimes you got to stop chopping down the tree. You sit back, sharpen the axe for a little while, and then you come back out swinging. 100%. Yeah. Yeah, Jayon, I think Tylen Green, he wouldn't have any problems. I'm assuming it's a he. He wouldn't have any problems managing or growing. It's just a little discomfort in the beginning when you try something new. We all go through that. Like everyone has fear, right? When you want to, when you're trying to push yourself because you just haven't been there before, right? So, but sometimes that's the exciting part too. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you see, you know the things that you need, and none of it's that complicated. It can be frustrating sometimes to have to like do some of that work. I get it. I mean, I'd much rather be out. I like driving around, meeting with the homeowners. I don't always want to be sitting in the office like learning how to do a CRM. I don't know. Everybody has their thing that they want to be good at. So, but yeah. Yeah, so that's another thing we can discuss for a couple minutes is helping you. I can share with you what some other companies are doing about scaling their online ads and how one, making sure you have a good pixel setup for your meta ads, how you set up an advertising campaign for digital now, the different frameworks that you'll use, the hook, the story, the offer, and then finding the buyers in their different stages of awareness, right? There's a little bit of strategy. It's at your level when you're trying to bring in some more business. Some people think I just need to put an ad on Facebook. There's a lot more to it if you want to be strategic and make it cost effective, right? We have to do targeted ads, and we have to find the right type of ideal client for you, which and Meta can help you do all of that these days. That's what's really amazing about the online system. And when you do that in combination, I'm assuming your vehicles either have magnets or lettering, you're putting up job signs, you're putting out door hangers, pardon our dust, you're introducing yourself to the neighbors of every neighborhood that you work in. It sounds like a CRM would help. I hope you're doing some sort of a mailing and a newsletter and staying in touch with both clients that you've done work for and all the clients who, for one reason or another, didn't or prospects that didn't hire you, they should be you should proactively be reaching out to them, sending out some postcards, things like that. So hopefully you have those systems in place. That'll make it a lot easier as well. Mhm. Hmm. Well, I mean, those are all areas of opportunity. You might find that you might be making it harder to get some clients, surprisingly. That's all. Yeah. Uh, I so I can just share this for you. There's a neighborhood around me. When I first started, I wasn't getting a lot of. I didn't have work in it. I wanted to work in that neighborhood. Most of the houses in my area, uh, you know, $800,000 house is a good neighborhood. Usually means that I'm dealing with some professional people, generally two incomes, little more traditional family setup. Husband, wife, couple kids. They like to work, right? They like to keep their house looking nice, so it wants to look good in the neighborhood. So these are the kind of neighborhoods I always look for. But there was this one neighborhood, houses were about 40 years old, and we didn't have any clients in the whole neighborhood. I don't know, it was maybe 800, maybe it's 650, something like that. There's a bunch of homes. So we started with a little mailing campaign. We sent out some postcards. Then we'd go around, put out some door hangers. Occasionally, I would just park my vehicle in the neighborhood in front of someone's house, and I would work in front of their house. I have a laptop set up with a spare battery in the truck, and I can just work right out of the vehicle. So I wanted everyone to see me all the time in that neighborhood. And finally, we landed a client in the neighborhood. And I'll tell you, uh, you start talking with them. We set up an arrangement where we could leave a nice yard sign for an extended period of time. And then boom, once we started that project, you make sure the vehicles are parked strategically so that people can see them. That's a little trick. Your guys are going to want to park the vehicle so that it's closest to the house. And what I would suggest sometimes in certain neighborhoods, you want to unload all the crap out of the vehicle and park that vehicle so that people can see it. You want the whole neighborhood knowing that you're there. And then somebody is running around dropping off pardon our dust flyers. Somebody's introducing themselves to the neighbors. You're asking the homeowner of the house, do you guys have any sort of association? Is there a community group? Can I come to one of your meetings and introduce myself to the whole community as a vetted person that does amazing bath remodeling work? Like all these little things, if you're a good networker, you're already probably doing this stuff. And then you can really get yourself solidified in that neighborhood, right? It's like why Coca-Cola does all their advertising. People have to see things multiple times. They might see the billboard, they might see this ad, they see that. So anyway, you want to be doing all of that with your business as well, and then that helps bring in that additional. You're already doing the work, so you want to make sure that the homeowners in the neighborhood know that you're doing the work there. Because if you're doing how it works. If you're in a neighborhood, somebody needs their bathroom modeled, chances are there's a handful of other people in that same neighborhood that are in the same predicament. They just don't know who to call. Yeah. Very cool. Well, Tom, great. Hopefully you found this a little beneficial. If there's any other, just, yeah, 100%, that could be, I call it the linchpin. You can have that one person in the neighborhood. Um, I mean, hopefully you're already doing this, but there's the project celebration parties. So when you've done a complete bath remodel for somebody, you should be offering to do a party for them at their house. Um, they can invite friends, neighbors, if their kids play sports. Like, let's say they have a daughter and she's on a soccer team and it's the end of the year for the soccer season. You can say, hey, would you want to host that your daughter's end of the year soccer party here at the house? We'll sponsor it. We'll pay for all the hot dogs, the hamburgers. You could show everybody how nice the bathroom turned out. Not every client's going to want to do this, but a lot of them do. And you'd be shocked. Little things like that. If that's your personality style and you want to be involved in stuff like that, you know. You can man the grill one afternoon for the homeowner, flip some hamburgers, hot dogs, get to network with all the community. Little things like that can make a big difference when you're trying to get in a certain area. Yeah. Every, if you've worked in restaurants, personality styles of, you just have to work with what you got. So some homeowners going to be very social. Some are going to be very private. You just work with what you got. And so cool. Well, yeah, awesome. All right. Well, if you have any other questions, pop them in here. Otherwise, I'm going to take a couple minutes and talk just about. So every day I come on, I do a little bit of a presentation. I call it. I've been doing it for this series. I'm on day 98 of 100. So we only have a couple days left in this series, and I go through I have a circle of, it looks like a saw blade, where we focus on the 6 areas that any remodeling contractor needs to have dialed in to grow their business. So we're finishing up right now on advertising. So this could be something for you going forward. And anyway, so today we're talking about like online, your presence, and you might already have all this stuff down. I mean, some of this is basic. So here we go. Just do a couple minutes on this. But if anyone has any questions, Jayon, you know the deal. If you can just type in your question and I'll stop this. Let's get started here. So right now, I think brand and reputation are probably like some of the most important things as they've ever been. You have a whole new generation of kids and homeowners that have grown up like watching people on social media, and they want to feel good about where they're spending their money. So part of that is you as the bath remodeler, the plumber, your image, what your company stands for, sometimes is going to be the determining factor in whether a client hires you, especially with some of the younger kids. I'm talking people now in like their 30s. Okay. Like my parents, people in their like 70s, they look a little bit differently for who they're going to hire. But the younger generation, they want to know like that your company is good to the environment, and maybe that you donate a percent of your profits to help somebody, some organization. You give back to the community. You do a habitat. I don't know. You donate for, a percent of profits for clean drinking water somewhere in the world. You should have a little bit of a thing behind why are you in business, right? Something a little bit extra that just helps people know that you're contributing to like the betterment of society in general. There's a lot of people in the newer, younger generations that's important to them. So if you're not doing it, try to find something that aligns with like what you believe in. I'm not telling you what to pick, just find something that your company is about. so that you stand out from the 10 other people that do the same thing that you do, but you do it from here because this is important to you. All right. So if you think about this, your online presence really is your resume, okay? And it's your reputation, and it's the first place people go. So like when we were trying to get into these new neighborhoods, everything has to be dialed in. When I'm handing out the flyer, my website, right? I and when the homeowner is going to take that information, they're going to see our van parked in the neighborhood. They're going to see a job sign when they're driving to and from work. And when they go back home or they're at work and they want to research my company, I have to have some sort of a message there that tells them something about me, the company, why we do what we do, how we help our homeowners, what problems we solve. And if you can tell a nice story, homeowners will start to feel a connection to you, the ones that you want to work with at least. Okay. So your online presence is doing your brand building and helping your sales process before the homeowner ever calls you. This is how we can sell jobs on the first appointment. I can roll out, meet with the homeowner, and sell a large project that day because my brand, my online presence has been already helping build trust and explaining our process, how we do the things that we do, why we do them the way that we do, why we charge for a paid planning session as opposed to doing free estimates. Like the homeowner can start to understand all of that. I've never had to say a word to them. Okay, so remember this, homeowners right now, they are going online to look you up if they don't know you from Adam, right? So they're going to look at your business profile. Like Jay Allen, you've been doing real good with all your reviews. I know you have a great Google profile, which is amazing, and it just makes it so much easier for the homeowners to keep calling you, right? I mean, you're getting a ton of business, and people are finding you online because you have already a solid foundation. It helps to have some sort of a Facebook page or an Instagram account. Doesn't have to have a lot of posts, just a couple. Yeah. So, I mean, you're seeing this. Remember, homeowners want to see the whole process. You should show them the before picture, the during, the after. And there should be a little story. Like, it's not that you just remodeled a bathroom. It's, hey, this is the Smith's bath. Their house was built in 1950s. They had old galvanized pipes and they had really poor water flow coming out of their shower head, right? And the tile was chipped and coming up all over the place. And they were really concerned it was going to be a tough project. And they wanted a whole new design. The layout was outdated. So we had to work with them. We came up with a beautiful design, right? And they were worried, how long is this going to take, right? How long are we going to be out and not having our bathroom? That's all put in your story about how you helped the Smiths overcome all these obstacles, because every other homeowner has the same obstacles. They're worried about, can you really fix my problem? I don't like the way it's laid out. Can you change that? Awesome. Can you do it in a reasonable time period? Because I don't want to not have a bathroom for 6 months. And when you tell that story and you show the pictures, if the homeowner has similar concerns and similar problems, they can breathe a sigh of relief and they can go, this is the company we're going to hire because they can solve our problem. So understand that before and after pictures should also, you should have a little story on your, whether you put that on Instagram, Facebook, your website, wherever. Believe it or not, it helps to have some of these third-party things, whether you're, some of you guys are probably Angie List certified if you've been doing this for a while. Lead water pipes, you got it, man. Galvanized lead, all the problems. Yeah, homeowners get worried about these things. Do you have lead? Do you have young kids in the house? Like, maybe we can get those lead pipes removed. Well, we did it for the Johnsons over here at 12, Fantasy Lane. We replaced all their lead pipes. They don't have to worry about it anymore. Homeowners look for that. All right. Sometimes being part of an association can really help as well. Just pick something. Homeowners like to see that you're a part. It helps them feel like you're a real professional. It's crazy at it. I did it for the longest time because homeowners would say, well, we saw that you were part of NARI, National Association of Remodelers. That was important to us. We wanted to find a contractor who was part of the NARI group. Crazy. Like, me being a part of NARI doesn't make me any better or worse as far as my capabilities, but in the eyes of the homeowner, it makes them feel like I'm more professional. So sometimes some of these things that seem arbitrary and silly, the Better Business Bureau, as much of a racket as that is, I mean, it's a scam, but it works. When you're a member of the Better Business Bureau, people feel better about you. So something to consider. Also understand that people are starting to use AI to do some searches. So what AI looks for often is stories on your website. Like, do you offer some sort of a blog type thing where you can talk about how you're an expert in your local market, right? Like, hey, I've been remodeling baths, for the last several years, and we've remodeled 50 of them in this one county alone, or whatever. We are the go-to. We're the expert when it comes to master baths. Somehow your website or your social media needs to tell that story. You need a post that helps frame you as the authority, because that's what the way these AI models search, they look for people that speak in authority, and then they rank them higher. So understand that also people are searching based off of who is the top rated kitchen remodeler in my area, right? Who is the top rated bath remodeler? What contractors have the best reputation in my zip code? This is how people are using AI that they didn't necessarily use Google for. And then they're asking, is so-and-so's company a good remodeling company? Well, one of the ways that you get found as a good remodeling company is you have an article on your web presence that says you're a good remodeling company. Maybe one of your customers writes you if you ever have a customer that loves you and says, is there anything I can do for your business? You can say, man, the best thing that could help us right now, would you write us a small letter, like a little paragraph or two, and just tell everyone how great the experience was? Like, what were you scared of? What were you worried about? What is it that we did that made you want to hire us? And how did the experience go? They just tell their story, and boom, you put that everywhere you can so that people can see that. So the biggest thing, if you're trying to market and advertise to people that don't know you, is people are scared. People are more afraid of making a bad decision, hiring the wrong contractor, the person that's going to steal from them, damage the house, make them look stupid amongst their friends, their neighbors. Nobody wants to be embarrassed. So they're more worried about making a bad decision than they are about making the right decision. And if you follow me on that, you'll start to see where this is going. It's really about trust, right? The homeowner if you and your company come across as trustworthy, like, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, if you hand me the keys to your house, nothing's going to get stolen. Nothing additional will be damaged other than what we're here to remove. And I'm going to present you back with a complete project that you're going to absolutely love. And we're going to do it in the shortest time frame possible with minimal disruptions, delays, right? And you can trust that I'll communicate with you, that I'll be here, and that I'm going to work through all those challenges. When the homeowner understands that, you're in. Price doesn't matter as much, right? They're going to say, we're going to pay more because that's the kind of experience we want. These are good homeowners, right? They're still always price checkers, but hopefully you're not dealing with those right now. So you can do this kind of stuff randomly too. You can just search. You should search for your own company. You should clear your web browser history or download. Like, if you don't use Internet Explorer, you should go to a computer, download Internet Explorer, and you should just search your company. Say, I'm looking to find the best bathroom remodeler in Michigan. Who is it? Are you coming up? You should go into ChatGPT and you could say, I'm looking for the top bathroom remodeler in my area. Are you coming up? Just do some of these things, see who is coming up, right? And then you can start figuring out, okay, how do I get my name in there as well? So one thing we talk about too is um, you want to be not forgettable as well as findable. When somebody goes to your page, if they're searching 5 people, what is it that's going to make you stand out? Hopefully your web page doesn't look the same as everybody else's. Something on there should be a little bit different. However, whatever your personality style is, right? So that you stand out a little bit from the rest of the crowd. So, that's pretty much it. The rest of the stuff is common now. Build as many reviews as you can. Most of you guys, I think, are doing that these days. And remember, we don't have to have all 5 stars. We just need the number. We need a lot of people. We can take a 3-star. We can take a 4-star. That's fine. You just have to respond. If it's anything less than 5, always have a response. Let them know like why it might be not where it's supposed to be. And then homeowners are good with that. And this is how you can use AI to do it. You can ask AI, you can tell it, act as my brand manager. Okay. You can hire an agency, but you can do some of this yourself. Say, be my brand manager, help me with a digital presence, let's say for kitchen remodeling. And I want to make sure that I have visibility. I want to be on platforms, Google. I want to be on Yelp, Facebook, Instagram. Maybe I want to appear on the Better Business Bureau. I want to be found through ChatGPT, for instance, right? And you can ask it to suggest improvements for you, right? How can I appear higher? How can I strengthen my results? And it'll give you a list. Now, you may not be able to solve all these problems based on our technical skills, but at least you have a basic understanding of some things that you can start working on. You just make a checklist, put it up on the board, and say, hey, over the next 90 days, I'm going to try to get this working a little better. I'll get this working a little bit better. And then 6 months from now, you'll be in a whole different place than you were today. And you don't get overwhelmed, right? Just small steps, incremental things. One builds on the next. All right, so that's what I had for you all tonight. Appreciate you letting me go through that for a minute. Thanks, Jay Allen. Appreciate it. Jay Allen, it's funny about those lead pipes. I just got so I'm in I get water. So I don't live in the city, but the city owns our water supply. And they just sent me a letter. Now, my house was built in 1920, and I've replaced all the plumbing inside the house. It's all been redone. But they're telling me they think I might have lead pipes coming from the street, possibly somewhere in the yard, the front yard. And I have to sign some kind of a waiver to let them come. They'll dig up my front yard and they'll replace the pipe if it is lead. So, have you ever heard of that? Do they do that down where you are? At first, I was like, what is the city trying to do? Thanks, Tom Green. Appreciate it. Just add a carbon filter. Should I not worry about it? Yeah, I don't know. They're telling me they'll replace it for free. I don't trust it, though. I don't understand. I've never heard of our city. I don't know, though. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the likelihood is that I still have lead in the front yard. I know I have copper coming in through the foundation wall, but I've never dug up my front yard, right? So when my plumber came in and made the main shutoff valve inside the house, that's the stub out is copper. But I don't know what exists once you get into the yard out to the street. It's possible at the tap. Yeah. Yeah. You wonder. Well, I'll let you know how it goes. I'm gonna respond to this letter, and I'm gonna double and just see a little bit more about it. The tap, I guess so. They're telling me, if I read the article, the letter correctly, they're only going to replace from the street to the house. Anything that's in the house, I have to replace, but they want to remove any lead pipes that are still underground in the system in my area. So I didn't have lead when I renovated that house. The one I have there, I renovated in '99. Another one I renovated in '05. They had galvanized or black galvanized pipe originally. I don't think it was lead. I didn't test it. So yeah. So if I'm following, yeah, I think that's why I have to sign a special. There's there's this document, a release document, a waiver. Basically, we have to sign a special document that gives them permission to come. They literally want to dig up my front yard and verify. Now, my properties aren't that far off the street, fortunately. I don't know. It's like less than 60 feet, I think. So it's not, might be like 40 something. Anyway, it's not, we're not, what I'm saying is it's not like I'm a half mile down the road. So, but they want to dig up the front yard. I think, and in my area, it's like about 5 feet deep is the water line. Yeah. Would you do it? I don't know. I don't know how much could, I don't know. I guess. Yeah, I think there. So the only thing I'm concerned about is in my area, and maybe this is true in a lot of places, the water line is like here, and the sewer line is only 3, 4 feet from it. So like what I'm really concerned about is having a bad sewer line because that was all clay, like terracotta back then, and I have not had the main. Now the whole house we ripped out all the black galvanized cast iron pipe. It's all plastic now, but I did never dug up the front yard. So I have a feeling that I've got some shitty I'm sorry, for lack of a better word, I have some bad old drain pipe in that front yard. So anyhow, right? Hopefully, ignorance is bliss sometimes. Hmm. Anyhow, all right. Well, you guys have been awesome tonight. I appreciate. So Tile and Grain, thank you for being here. Jay Allen, as always. Appreciate you being here. Say hi to your better half as always. And again, that's awesome. Yeah, the plumbing. Yeah, the drain pipe seems to. I don't have any trees, so yeah, good. As long as we don't have any trees where the drain is, we seem to be okay. No roots will get in there. But yeah. So all right. Real quick, let's look at tomorrow or later tonight, whatever time it ends up being. Um, we're on day 99. So I'm going to talk a little bit tomorrow about how you can address a website that can help sell for you. all the time, as opposed to just being boring, basic information. So I'll get into just a little bit about some concepts that you can do on your website. And then we got 1 day left in this challenge. So, all right. Well, you guys are awesome. Appreciate you being here. If there's any, reach out at you guys. Tyler Green, I know you're a little new. You can always hit me up with a direct message if you have any questions through the TikTok account. I put, if you ever want to see the slides, most nights I'll screen share and you can watch that on the YouTube channel. I don't tend to get many comments over there. I tend to focus my eyes over here on the TikTok, but I do put up some slides sometimes on YouTube. So Daniel, right now it's all over the place, to be honest with you. So it's the original goal was to be around 8 to 10 East Coast time, but it's been later. Just yeah. So all I can tell you is if you follow the account, you'll get a notification, and most of the time they're at night. So Daniel, thanks. I don't know if which Daniel? I know some Daniels. I can't tell in your profile. Daniel, if I know you, I apologize because I don't recognize your. Let me see. I can't see your profile that well. Daniel, if you're new, welcome here. If you ever have any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you so thank you for following. I appreciate that. And yeah, let me know what part of the country you're in. All right, and what your specialty is. Okay, awesome. So you've been on the page before. Fantastic. Maybe you might have told maybe. Hold on. Yes, I think you might have actually. I think you have been on here before. Okay, tile and stonework. Fantastic. Is that Italy? Is that Italy? Is that an Italian flag? What am I seeing here? Man, I should get a bigger screen for better eyesight. Bear with me. Okay, so you're in Mexico. I got you now. Awesome. No, fantastic. Well, thank you for. I'm glad you found the account, and yeah, please reach out at any point if you have any questions, and feel to comment. If you ever have any questions, anything you want to discuss on any of the lives, if you're here, you're always welcome to comment. I appreciate you being here. You can probably, I think you'd have a good perspective to share what work's like down where you are as well. I think it would be nice to hear that. So, yeah, Mexico, fantastic. Yeah, no, glad to have you. I'll have to see if you have a website. I'd be curious the kind of you probably have some interesting, like some nice work that you probably do down there, especially with your stone and tile work. I'd be interested to see some of it. So I'll have to. I see you got a. What do you have? One video here. All right. Very cool. All right. Well, yeah. Hey, bro. All in due time. All in due time. It's look, I can share this from personal experience. When I first went online, I hated it. I never wanted to be online. I didn't like putting any of my work or pictures online, and I started noticing how I was not helping myself. I was losing work because I had good projects to show people, and I used to carry it in a booklet. I printed the pictures out. I had nice photos, and I would show them in person, and it doesn't work. Like I was losing a lot of jobs because of my own uh, whatever you want to call it, hesitancy. I'm more of an introverted type of person. I don't like putting the things out there like that for whatever. It's just some of you guys understand it. And so it was natural for me to resist doing that for years, and it hurt the business. I had to work much harder because of my own issues with putting myself out there and sharing, like, hey, this is the work I've done. This is what it looks like. So we're all on our own journey. Um, Nowadays, it's pretty much standard that you got to put something online. So if you want to make it easier for yourself, that's all I'm trying to say. Because what I started finding out was people were referring me, and the people that got referred to me never would call me. And I never knew that until it would take a long time till the homeowner would say, hey, did Joey ever hire you? I'd be like, no, I never even heard from Joey. And they go, that's strange. We referred you. And so then the homeowner would go back and they'd go, well, yeah, you referred Mike. Well, we went online and he really didn't have anything. We went with so and so. And it took like about a year for that cycle to go through. And when I heard it like 2 or 3 times, I was like, that's enough of that. I got to make sure I need to start putting something online because I was losing jobs that I didn't even know that I was losing. And it was all because I was not putting pictures on social media. All right. So you guys are awesome. Thanks for being here. And we'll be back tomorrow night and we'll do it again. You guys have a great night. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks. Really appreciate all you guys. Jay Allen, thank you. Tylen Green, thank you. And Daniel, awesome. Thanks for being here as well. All right, you guys, take care.